How many of you have been waiting for the RAZER VIPER Mini Ultimate or the RAZER VIPER Mini Wireless? How many of you have been waiting for that? Let's get a show of hands. I know there's been quite a few of you, right? And let me tell you what, that is not what we have today. But we do have something very, very close to it. The Pwnage Ultra Custom Symmetrical 2 here. Why I say it's close to it is number one, let's take a look at it. As far as in your box, you get your extra shell, honeycomb. We have the full body. It also comes in a honeycomb version, which I will show you also. Again, you get the full shell or the honeycomb version right there. Get your paracord cable, matching whichever color. If you go with the black or the white, you're gonna get your dongle adapter and then some button 1 and 2 spacers. So why I say it's so similar is right there. Take a look at those dimensions. If you're not familiar with the VIPER Mini dimensions, here you go. I'll throw those up on the screen as well for you. And now look at it. Pretty much a spitting image minus a little bit of extra width on the tail end there. Now, whenever we do get them in the hand and we put the symmetrical 2 in our hand, again, the tail, you do feel it a little bit bigger in the back end right there. Coming over to the VIPER Mini, even though it's minor, you do feel it. Over here, it kind of just touches the side of my hand, right? Coming over to the symmetrical 2, I feel it resting on my hand right here on that back pinky knuckle. Now this is gonna be different for everybody's hand, of course, right there. But for me, I do notice that slight difference with them sitting in the hand. Now, one other comparison I wanna show you that really shocked me, especially getting them in my hand, testing them right here and everything, right? That is the Pwnage Ultra Custom Symmetrical 1, I guess we call it, right? Now, when we put it down right here, I don't know if it really looks like that much of a difference. I mean, clear as day, you can see like the symmetrical 2 swoops in and waves out when this guy's almost like kind of just straight right there. But putting him in your hand, whew, wow, this guy feels big. And the dimensions really aren't that much drastically different, you know what I mean? But again, getting a symmetrical 2 in my hand, you can see right here, getting the 1 in my hand, I mean, it clearly fills out the hand, you know? It's like such a drastic difference. And I think the biggest thing it is, again, how the symmetrical 2 swooping on the side, symmetrical 1's almost straight back right there. Now, as far as weight, there's gonna be multiple different options we can check this as. Number one, we have the dongle out, which you can usually store right in the back right there. But weigh it without it, we're gonna get 67.7 grams. Let's go and take it off, put our honeycomb shell on, back down, we're gonna get 72.6 grams. Honeycomb shell off, solid shell on, and you're gonna get 74.9 grams. Now for me, I do prefer the solid feel. Again, it's not that big of a difference. I mean, your palm's not really resting on the back of this honeycomb there, but I don't know, I just like that solid feel right here. But with either the honeycomb or the full shell, I mean, this thing is solid, no creaking, no flexing, no button pressing. I mean, it is solid, no rattling. And again, that's with the shell off, still no flexing, honeycomb on the back, no flexing. The build quality of this thing is stinking solid. Now, the other thing you're probably asking is, hey, how about the honeycomb version here? Again, I'm not a big honeycomb fan, especially on the side. Why, you can see on this one, I have the grips put on the side right there because I do not like the honeycomb digging into my fingers. If I can pull the grips back, you can see the honeycombs are down within there. As far as weight difference, as far as the honeycomb sides or the solid sides or honeycomb top and solid top, there is a mild difference, but you cannot tell at all in your hand. Now, as far as our buttons, we're using Kale 8.0s here. Now, our side buttons do sound a little bit different with the honeycomb version. I'll let you hear these here. And why I think that is again, just that solid piece. Again, it's kind of, I don't want to say radiating, but it's sticking within there. When over here you have the honeycomb that it kind of just lets that sound go out, a little bit more of that hollow sound. But as far as feel, very crispy across every button and very solid. Now, as far as performance, we're using the 3370 sensor, and we have very nice, big, 100% PTFE feet here, nice and rolled off on the edges there. No drag or lift off issues or anything like that. Right over here, we have our power button. Up top is office mode, which will just light up your scroll wheel. flick it down to the bottom with full RGB mode, and it'll light up that RGB on the bottom right there. Now, one thing that's really cool about the RGB here is they made it so you can have the option for it to stay on even whenever you're moving it. Some of the old Pwnage mice, whenever you'd move it, the RGB would go off, as you're seeing here. So it's really cool to have the options for both now. That used to drive me nuts in some of the older Pwnage mice right there, is whenever you'd move it, the RGB would just flicker. Again, that's to save battery life. Now, as far as battery life, you get up to 180 hours in office mode, which is again with just the scroll wheel lit up, and then in gaming mode with the RGB on the back, because you know you're only in gaming mode. If you got a plethora of RGB going on, you'll get up to 80 hours, and the mouse charges fully within 2 hours. Now, if you are curious about the wire here, it is paracord, but it's quite thick and quite spacious in there, kind of shoelace-ish, right? But hey, we have a wireless mouse. We're not really wanting to use it with the wire, but if you need to charge it while you're gaming, you can do that. But again, it is a little bit of a thick stiffy here. And of course, the thing that makes these Pwnage Ultra Custom mice so stinking cool is the Ultra Custom part of it, right? Being able to change it and make it what you want. This one here was a full black honeycomb. And as you can see, I made it into the Techne version right here, right? I got my grips on and I changed the red up to the top. And again, like I stated, you can make the top solid. You can change the colors. They sell all sorts of colors on there and it's so easy to change and everything stays in there solid. You kind of think if you got somewhere you can take these parts off and put them back on or something, it's gonna be loose and a little bit flexy. It's really not. It's solid. Everything is in place. And again, it feels like a complete unit, even when you're swapping parts out. Now, one thing I did notice with the shells right here, as you see, we have the white and the red. Going with the red, you can see it's like spray painted, right? You can see the red down within there. The bottom's white with a little bit of paint coming through. Same with the buttons up here. As you see, it's white with a little bit of paint bleeding through right there. So you can tell these are spray painted. Coming over to the white one, which is a little harder to tell, but again, you can tell it's one piece of plastic. What I'm gonna do to make this a little bit easier is we'll get one of the shell replacements out. We have the green here, and again, you have tons of colors. But let's go ahead and pop this open, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Sorry, let's get the buttons out here. And we have the green, right? Nice green, by the way. Flip it over, and it's fully green. Again, it's a green plastic. It's not painted, like we see with the red one here with the paint bleeding over. Now, I did open multiple different color variations of these shells, and they are all like the green one here. The red one was the only one that was painted. I don't know why. I do know with like the older Ultra Customs, the red was more or less like, it looked like a faded red, like you left something out in the sun for a long time, you know what I mean? So maybe they just couldn't get the dye right on the plastic, and they decided just to paint them. So I'm not too sure how long this painted version is going to last compared to the fully plastic one. And again, that's what makes these mice so stinking fun, right? Is you make them your mouse. The customization, the endless options, so many different color variations you can do. Again, there's just so much customization in this to make the mouse yours. And wrapping up the Symmetrical 2, this mouse is gonna come in at 110 bucks. Does it justify that price? Me personally, I think so. With that great battery life, the great build, the customization options, the sensor, the switches and everything, I think it really justifies it right here. Does it justify it to you? Have you been looking for that VIPER Ultimate Mini? VIPER Mini Wireless, whatever the heck you wanna call it. Have you been looking for one? Have you been really itching for that mouse to come out? Well, you have it. You have it right here. So hey, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. I hope I helped you out and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for some future tech videos. Hey, I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye now.